Today is the 22nd day of the month of Teves. We are in the middle of chapter 45 discussing the rules of making a Zimun. When 3 or more men eat a meal together, then they're able to bench together. They could do the Birkat Hamazon together as well. Today we'll be doing paragraph 9 through paragraph 16. Paragraph 9. If the one leading the Zimun doesn't want to drink the wine, then he should make sure to do a Zimun but not on a cup of wine, because it's not appropriate for somebody else to drink the wine instead of him. Paragraph 10. You need to have 3 people that ate together, but only 2 of them had to have eaten bread. The third person could have had anything to eat and even anything to drink other than water. Any sort of beverage. Water wouldn't work, but any other beverage would work for him to be considered a part of 3, for them to be able to now make a Zimun. Let's say you have 2 people that are eating, and then the third person comes along and he starts eating. The first 2 people, let's say they already finished eating. Do you say they ate together, or did not consider having eaten together? They finished eating the first 2, but they didn't bench yet. So could they wait for the third person to finish and add to a Zimun with him? Or do you say, no, they didn't really eat together? So if they had stopped their eating, but they still were a little bit hungry, that if more food would have been brought to the table, they would have eaten it, then even though they're not actually eating anything now, they're still considered in the middle of the meal when the third person joined, and therefore it's considered like they all ate together. If, however, they are fully satiated, or even if they're not fully satiated, but they already did Mayim Achronim, they did the waters that we wash at the end of the meal. If they already did that, then it's considered their meal is fully over. When the third person comes and starts eating, it's not considered as if he ate with them, and therefore no Zimun could be done. Paragraph 11. Let's say there are 3 people eating, and one person wants to leave. He finished eating, he wants to head on out. So because by him leaving, he's going to be breaking up the Zimun, he's not allowed to leave. He has to stay till the other 2 finish eating as well, so they could have the Zimun. If you have 6 people, then they could split into 2 groups. 3 people could bench together, make the Zimun, and leave, and the remaining 3 will make a Zimun themselves, so then they're allowed to leave. Now, even if there'll be a Zimun without you, let's say you're person number 4, there's 4 people eating together, you're number 4, could you leave? There'll be a Zimun without you. Nope, you can't leave either, because by you leaving, you're going to be benching without a Zimun, then you can't go yourself. Once there's an obligation to have a Zimun, you can't just scoot out. You have to wait till the Zimun happens. We're going to see later on that if somebody wants to leave, you have a group of 4 or 5 people there, even more, and somebody wants to leave, then they could lead the Zimun. Everyone waits for him to do the first paragraph of Birkat Hamazon, of benching, and then he could leave, and then they continue eating. We're going to see more details about this in tomorrow's episode when we get to paragraph 17. Paragraph 12. If 10 men are eating together, then not only do they make a Zimun, they add an extra word, Elokeinu, our God, in the middle of it, just follow the instructions in the bencher or the siddur, the prayer book they're using. And therefore, just like we saw that if you have 3 people eating together, 1 person can't leave. If you have 10 people eating together, then 1 person can't leave, even though there'll be a Zimun without them. Even 3 people can't make their own Zimun and leave, because then the remaining people are not going to be able to say Elokeinu, and you won't be able to say Elokeinu. So therefore, just like if you had 3 people, 1 person can't leave to split it up, so too, if you have 10 people, you're not able to split it up either, because you're going to lose out on saying Elokeinu. If you have 20 people eating together, then you can split into 2 groups of 10, and then each 10 will be able to say Elokeinu by themselves. Paragraph 13. Let's say you have 10 people, so you're supposed to be saying Elokeinu, but the one leading the Zimun forgot to say Elokeinu. So if everybody else answered and they also forgot to say Elokeinu, it's too late. But if he said that line where he's supposed to say Elokeinu, and then he realizes, oh my goodness, I made a mistake, he can repeat the line with the word Elokeinu in it. Paragraph 14. Just like we saw when we were talking about 3 people in Zimun, only 2 had to have eaten bread. The last one could have had eaten or drunken anything other than water to be included to count this as Zimun. So too with 10 people, in order to say Elokeinu, 7 have to have eaten bread, and the remaining 3 could eat anything else or drink anything else, again, not including water, and now that's considered 10 people to be able to say the extra word Elokeinu in the Zimun. Paragraph 15. What's considered eating together? Do you have to be sharing the same loaf of bread, sharing a challah? So the answer is nope. You could each come bring your own pre-packed lunch in a lunch bag, taking out your own sandwich, sitting down at a lunch table to eat together. If you're eating the same time, then that's considered eating together. Now, if 2 people started together and 1 person joins afterwards, like I said earlier, that's also considered together. Let's say you have 2 people who are joining to start together, then 1 person joins, then that person who joined late, he's finished, he's ready to go, and the first 2 people are still eating away. So in that case, because that third person didn't start with them and isn't ending with them, then he's able to leave early and you don't have to make a Zimun. If he doesn't mind sticking around, that's a mitzvah to, but there's no obligation to. This is a unique case where he didn't start with the other 2 people and not ending with the other 2 people, where you're able to leave early, even though there's 3 people here not together, you're still able to leave even though it's breaking up the Zimun. If someone's going to suffer financial loss because they're ready to go, they have an important business meeting or something or other, that if they don't leave right now, they don't quickly bench and be on their way, they're going to suffer some big financial loss, then they're really able to leave without joining the Zimun, and even though that might even break up the Zimun, but preferably, like I mentioned earlier, he should ask the other two people to wait a few minutes while he starts the Zimun, he benches, says the first paragraph, and then he could finish off on his own and scoot off, while the other two people just have to wait for him to finish the first paragraph, then they continue eating, and they bench themselves later. But if they don't agree to wait for him to read the first paragraph, then he could just bench by himself and head out. Paragraph 16. Let's say you have three people eating together, and one person, not realizing the Zimun, started benching, and he finished benching, and he says, oh my goodness, there were three of us, we could have had a Zimun. If he's still sitting at the table, even though he finished benching, one of the other remaining two people could lead the Zimun, he could answer, he could still be part of the three because he's still at the table. However, if two people benched, and then after they finish benching, like, oh my goodness, there's a third person here, we could have done a Zimun, then it doesn't work. Only if one person benched, but two people still need to bench now, that's when you can use this trick. This concludes today's episode. Have a wonderful day and see you on tomorrow's episode.